I'm going to do some questions, and I'm going to say these to other YouTubers so they can answer them. And I've got question 1 on here, and I'm going to do question 2 all the way up to 10 in videos. And I've invited people to answer these. These people have a lot of experiences in the hobby, and I hope they all help me. So, question 1: does it matter what species you get for your first tarantula, or does it have to be a Grammostola or Brachypelma? Who knows? First up is Arachnids.
Dave Arachnids. I'm here to help our wonderful Princess Sophie answer some serious questions here. She came up with a very, very intricate list of 10 questions that she would like us to answer. So we're going to do these, I guess, one clip at a time per video. So we're going to start with the first one. And the question is, does it matter what species you get for your first tee, or does it have to be Brachypelma or Grammostola? Well, that's a good question. And the answer to that is going to be, it's probably relevant to the person. And each person, their keeping abilities are different. Their confidence, I guess you could say, is different, and that's a big thing, is not being scared of what you're working with and being able to rehouse things without that fear. So no, it doesn't have to be a Brachypelma or Grammostola, but it does need to fit what you feel comfortable with.
Thanks, Arachnids. That makes loads of sense. Because if you feel confident with it, you can buy it from the spider shop. That's what I do. And I've got a little spider here. And next up is Invertebrarian. Let's see what he says.
Hello, I am the Invertebrarian, and thank you ever so much, Princess Sophie Pink, for having us here on your channel. Now, you have set out a series of questions you have asked other YouTubers to answer, so hopefully I will then feature in the next couple of videos answering these questions for you. Please do subscribe to Princess Sophie Pink's channel. She is an amazing young woman, and it's great to see young generations enjoying life on Earth. It's brilliant. So, without further ado, question 1 is, can you begin with any species of tarantula, or does it have to be Brachypelma and Grammostola? Well, realistically, you can have and you can start into this hobby, and I know people have started into this hobby with any species you like. Granted, Grammostola, Brachypelma are very, very easy species to look after. They're not difficult and they're relatively docile, thus making them good beginner species. But that is not to say that certain individuals within the Grammostola and Brachypelma categories are not going to be aggressive or defensive, or whatever your terminology you prefer to use. But with correct research, knowledge, learning, and awareness of the animal, any species could potentially be your first pet tarantula. The responsibility is on the owner to do the research, have adequate housing, and to treat the animal with the respect it deserves. I know people that have begun with OBTs, I know people that have started with Pocotheria, I know people that have begun with GBBs. The choices are endless, but these people have made sure they are ready to maintain and keep that animal in the correct way it needs to be kept. But for a lot of people coming into the hobby, to build up the confidence and understand of how to keep tarantulas as a general, Brachypelma, Grammostola and other species like that are very good to keep, quite hardy, relatively easy, and are a great way to introduce you into the hobby of tarantula keeping. Hope that answers your question, and on to the next one. Next person.
Wow, Invertebrarian, that was really interesting. By the way, your accent is really cool. Next up is the one and only Cousin Brown Ferret.
Hello there YouTube, and welcome back. It is your boy, Cousin Phil Ferret, the man with the spotted leg hair. And I'm here today to answer a question for the one, the only, Princess Sophie Pink. And she asks about beginner tarantulas. Is it just the gramstolas and the brachypelmas? No. Okay, thank you very much for tuning in. That is my answer to this question. No, no. Let's go into this a bit more deeply. Yes, brachypelmas, fantastic beginner tarantula. Gramstolas, once again, an amazing beginner tarantula. There is also the Aphipelmas, which are as another genus, a very good one. Although not the Codes Chalcodes in my opinion, because my one's called arsehole. It's not swearing when it's his name. But equally, like my first two tarantulas that I got was a green bottle blue and a Tarantula Bernipes. Because why not? I mean, it's the other things, like you want to go into this hobby of ours and you want to go for something big and beautiful straight away, then ideally a Grammy, a Brachy, or Aphipelma are going to be the ideal ones, because the Tarantula Bernipes is a dwarf species, so it's not very big, and it's also hairless, so it actually looks a lot more scary than some of the hairy ones. They're absolutely stunning. I love my one. It's not the first one I bought. This is actually one I bought, the other one, because the other one died. And let's say the green bottle blue is you watch it grow. It's going to change colours. It's absolutely wonderful. Once again, it's a lovely beginner tarantula. I've got a juvie one now, which is absolutely stunning, beautiful colours. And it was actually the GBB that got me into collecting tarantulas. So no, there isn't just the brachypelmas, the gramstolas. There are other options there. Also, as long as you do your research properly, there's no reason why any tarantula cannot be a beginner. If you say you want to go in for something nasty, scary, and you've got no fear whatsoever, go on, go get a Chilobrachys. Go get yourself an OBT. Go on, go get you one, I dare you. But if you're just starting out, you want something that's going to be a bit more relaxed, a bit more calm, so docile, that's not going to cause you any real problems, then yeah, the ideal species are the gramstolas, there's the Aphipelmas, the brachypelmas. They are the ideal ones, and you throw the green bottle blue in there as well. But you don't have to start on those ones. Although, in my personal opinion, anyone who does not have a Gramstola pulchra needs to get one. It is probably the greatest tarantula ever on this earth. Because you never know what we're going to find out in space. So thank you very much for tuning in. This has been Cousin Phil, Ferret and Maris Batley here, answering this question for Princess Sophie Pink, my favourite YouTuber and your favourite YouTuber.
Thanks, Cousin Phil Ferret. That was a fab answer, but you swore in front of a kid. Next up is JP's Technician. Let's see if he has a different answer. He probably will. Okay, let's get on with it.
So the first question is, doesn't matter what species you get for your first tarantula. So the truth is, if it was down to me, I'd always get a New World tarantula. Old World tarantulas are more grumpy and more aggressive. Like, you don't want to start with OBT because they will give you a good fight. That's the truth. There is two tarantulas I would start with, and that's the Mexican red knee tarantula. The leg span gets to about 5 to 6 centimetres long. Very common in the pet trade. You can get them from most reptile shops. And also there's the rose tarantula as well. The Chilean rose, I think they're called. They're absolutely gorgeous as well. Two amazing species, very docile, easy to handle and easy to tame down. So that would be two tarantulas I would start with myself. Like I say, that's just my opinion. But always get a New World tarantula because they're very docile normally. And obviously Old World are more aggressive and for more experienced keepers. So that's my question one.
Thanks, JP's Technician. That was really interesting too. So next up is 8-Legged Diaries. Let's get on with it.
Hello everybody, 8-Legged Diaries here, and I am going to answer some questions asked by the lovely Princess Sophie Pink for a YouTube video. I'm by no means an expert on tarantulas, like, just yet, but I will answer her questions to the best of my knowledge. So, question number 1. does it matter what species you get for your first tarantula, or does it have to be a Brachypelma or Grammostola? So, personally, I think as long as you have done your research into the species you're thinking of getting, no, it doesn't overly matter. You don't have to get a Grammostola or a Brachypelma or one of the starter tarantulas, but I would recommend, if you are brand new to the hobby, that you start with something that's a little bit more docile, a little bit slower moving, until you get sort of used to them as an animal. Now, my first was in fact a Brachypelma albopilosum, who is starting to seal itself away under there. I also have another Brachypelma, which is my Hamori, my big girl over here. And I also have, how many Grammostolas do I have now? I have 3. I have little Raven here, a tiny little, I don't even know where it is, little Pulchripes, and my G. Portery. Now I know some people have started out with old world tarantulas like OBTs. She's that little orange smear down in there. Some people start with pokies or whatever. But personally, if you're brand new, I would recommend something a little more on the slow side. And that could be, if you like something big, a Lasiodora. It could be, if you want something smaller, maybe a Hapalopus or an Ageniculata. Or if you like arboreals, maybe a C. versicolor or any of the Avicularia species. So I hope that's helpful, and I will see you in my next question. Bye!
Thanks, 8-legged Aries. That was really cool and gave me a lot of interest. Let's move on to the final answer, which is Tropical Phil. Let's see what he says.
Hey, what's up guys? It's Tropical Phil here. Massive thank you to Princess Sophie Pink for inviting me to be a part of this video. Now she sent over some questions which I'll try and answer. Now obviously I'm not an expert by any means, and some of the answers may be incorrect or may not be the best, but it's all fun and it should be a great video. So here we go. The first question is, does it matter what tea you get as your first one? Now, a lot of people will suggest some of the more docile species for beginners, but for me personally, I think it all comes down to what you feel comfortable with. Now, if you feel comfortable with handling old worlds, dealing with old worlds who are a bit more quicker, then yeah, by all means go for them. But if you want something that's a bit more slow moving, a bit more docile, then go for some of the new worlds which are a bit calmer.
Thanks, Tropical Phil. That was a really good final answer. Thank you everyone for your great animating answers. I really appreciated it. And all of you guys that are watching, I hope you learned more about tarantulas like I did. I've learned that as long as you've done the research and you feeling confident enough, you can buy the tarantula that you really want. It shouldn't matter what species you get. Obviously, the old worlds are more aggressive, so do your research and feel confident in what tarantula you're gonna get. Make sure to like and subscribe to their channel and my channel. So that was question 1, and I'll see you all next time in question 2. Bye!